Borrowing money, borrowing skills, or borrowing connections, which choice makes you richer faster? Have you ever wondered, getting rich from nothing sounds impossible, but in reality, many people have gone from zero to success. The secret lies in maximizing what you already have and continuously upgrading yourself. Below is a concrete roadmap to get you started. On the journey to wealth, you will always face three choices: borrowing money, borrowing skills, or borrowing connections. Each path has its own power, but which one is the ultimate ace to help you break through the fastest? 1. Borrowing money. Borrowing money, a financial leverage or a double-edged sword? Borrowing money is one of the ways to accelerate wealth building, but not everyone knows how to use it effectively. Many fear debt and avoid loans, but in reality, successful entrepreneurs rarely use their own money to get rich. They use other people's money to create opportunities. Financial leverage helps you scale faster, but if not managed well, it can become a massive burden. Money enables you to invest and expand, but without a clear strategy, you could fall into a debt spiral. If someone told you that borrowing money could make you a billionaire, would you believe it? Look at Jeff Bezos, who turned a loan from his parents into one of the most valuable companies in the world, Amazon. Jeff Bezos' story, borrowing money the right way. In 1994, Jeff Bezos was a Wall Street employee with a stable job and a high salary. However, when he saw the rapid rise of the internet, he realized that e-commerce would be the inevitable future. Bezos had a bold idea: to create an online bookstore where people could order from anywhere without needing to visit a physical store. However, despite his grand vision, he faced a major problem: he didn't have enough money to start. Instead of waiting to save enough capital, Bezos decided to use financial leverage to turn his dream into reality. Since he didn't have enough money to build the website, buy inventory, or operate the company, he convinced his parents to invest $300,000 into his project. This was not a bank loan or professional investor capital, it was his parents' entire life savings. Bezos warned them that they might lose all their money, but he believed this was an opportunity they couldn't miss. His parents put their trust in him, and this investment opened the door for Amazon to be born. Bezos didn't waste money on luxuries or fancy offices. Instead, he used the capital extremely wisely and strategically. Building the Amazon.com website. The first portion of the money was used to develop the online platform, allowing customers to easily purchase books with just a few clicks. Leveraging existing resources to cut costs. Instead of renting a luxurious office, Bezos worked from his garage. His early team even used desks made from old doors to save money. Focusing on one product before expanding. Bezos knew that to succeed, he had to do one thing well before doing many things. So, he only sold books at first, rather than trying to sell multiple products at once. Reinvesting profits instead of spending on personal luxuries. When Amazon started generating revenue, Bezos did not spend on expensive cars or mansions. Instead, he reinvested all profits into the company for rapid expansion. Thanks to his smart strategy and persistence, Amazon grew rapidly. Within a few years, the company went from a small startup to an e-commerce giant, expanding into electronics, fashion, cloud services, AWS, and more. Today, Amazon is worth over $1.5 trillion, and Jeff Bezos was once the richest man in the world with a net worth exceeding $200 billion. And it all started with a $300,000 loan from his parents. Key lessons from Jeff Bezos. Bezos' story proves that borrowing money isn't the problem, the real issue is how you use it. Borrow money for investment, not consumption. Bezos didn't take loans to buy cars or houses, he used them to build a revenue-generating business. Don't wait until you save enough, leverage financial power. If Bezos had waited until he had enough money, Amazon might not exist today. Reinvest instead of indulging in luxury. Even after achieving success, Bezos continued reinvesting rather than spending on personal extravagance. This is how businesses achieve sustainable growth. Not everyone has wealthy parents to borrow from, but Bezos' story shows that if you have a great idea, a clear plan, and the courage to take action, you can find the capital to bring your dream to life. The downside: borrowing money the wrong way. Adam Neumann's story, the collapse of WeWork. Not everyone knows how to borrow money wisely. While Jeff Bezos turned a small loan into a trillion-dollar empire, Adam Neumann, founder of WeWork, is a classic example of misusing borrowed money, leading to catastrophic failure. In 2010, Adam Neumann and co-founder Miguel McKelvey had a breakthrough idea: transform traditional office spaces into a flexible co-working model. They launched WeWork, offering shared office spaces for startups and freelancers. The concept quickly gained attention, and within a few years, WeWork became one of the fastest-growing startups in the US. However, instead of growing sustainably, Neumann continuously borrowed money and raised investment capital for uncontrolled expansion. Unlike Jeff Bezos, who borrowed and invested strategically, Neumann followed the burn money to grow approach. Borrowed billions from SoftBank and investors, WeWork raised over $12 billion within a decade. Expanded recklessly, instead of ensuring a profitable business model, Neumann kept opening hundreds of offices worldwide, regardless of the high operational costs. Lavish spending: while the company was unprofitable, Neumann spent extravagantly on parties, private jets, and used company funds to buy personal properties. Overinflated valuation: WeWork was valued at $47 billion, but in reality, the company never generated significant profits. In 2019, WeWork planned to go public, IPO, but when investors examined its financial reports, they realized the company was losing billions annually. From a $47 billion valuation, WeWork's worth plummeted to just $8 billion within weeks. Investors panicked. SoftBank, the largest investor, had to inject more cash to save the company. Adam Neumann was forced to resign. The board removed him due to reckless mismanagement. Lessons from WeWork's failure: don't borrow money just to spend and expand blindly. Neumann used loans to aggressively expand instead of strengthening the business model. Profitability matters more than rapid growth. Unlike Amazon, where Bezos reinvested for value creation, WeWork burned cash without financial stability. Investors will eventually see the truth. Neumann created an appealing story to attract capital, but ultimately, investors focused on real numbers. Both Jeff Bezos and Adam Neumann started by borrowing money to build their businesses. One became the richest man in the world, the other was fired, and his company nearly collapsed. The difference? Bezos borrowed strategically, reinvested, and scaled sustainably. Neumann wasted capital, overexpanded, and mismanaged funds. Borrowing money is a double-edged sword. It can help you break through or drag you into the abyss if you don't manage it wisely. 2. Borrowing skills. On the journey to success, there is a little-known truth: you don't need to master everything to become wealthy. The most successful people don't try to do everything themselves. They borrow skills from those who are better to achieve their goals faster. You may be someone with no experience, no capital, and even no extensive network, but if you know how to borrow skills, you can shorten your path to success from 10 years to just a few years, or even a few months. Let's explore this together. Borrowing skills means leveraging the knowledge, experience, and abilities of others to reach your goals faster instead of learning everything from scratch. It can be learning from experts, mentors, books, courses, observation, practice. Partnering with people who have the skills you lack. Hiring experts instead of doing everything yourself. Using technology and tools to replace manual labor. Want to open a coffee shop but don't know anything about business? Find someone with experience to learn from or partner with. Want to make money online but don't know how to code? Hire a freelancer to build your website. Want to become a marketing expert but have no experience? Learn from those who have already succeeded instead of wasting years on trial and error. Borrowing skills does not mean being dependent or relying on others. It's about leveraging the intelligence and strength of others to grow faster. Save time, shorten the path to success. Learning a skill from scratch takes a lot of time. If you try to figure things out on your own, you might spend 5 to 10 years mastering a field. But if you borrow skills from others, you can achieve results in months or a few years. Someone wanting to learn stock investing could spend 5 years studying alone, or just 6 months with the guidance of a great mentor. You don't need to know everything to make money. If you understand how to borrow skills, you can sell products/services you don't create yourself by outsourcing. Start a business without being an expert in finance, marketing, and technology all at once. Develop products faster by working with experts instead of learning from scratch. Jeff Bezos, Amazon, didn't write the website's code himself, he hired the best engineers. Elon Musk is not a software engineer, but he recruited top talent to build SpaceX and Tesla. Borrowing skills isn't just about hiring or partnering, it's also about connecting with the right people for greater opportunities. A single conversation with the right expert can save you years of trial and error. The right connection at the right time can help you secure funding, find customers, or land a better job. Howard Schultz, Starbucks and the lesson from Italy. Howard Schultz, who transformed Starbucks into the world's #1 coffee brand, was not the company's founder. But he borrowed the skills of those more experienced to expand Starbucks. He learned from Starbucks founders about running a coffee business. He traveled to Italy to study cafe models and brought the concept to the US. He hired top experts in marketing, finance, and operations to scale the business. Now, Starbucks operates worldwide, with tens of thousands of stores. Steve Jobs, borrowing skills to create the iPhone. Steve Jobs was not a top engineer, but he knew how to borrow skills from the best people to create revolutionary products. He didn't code the iPhone himself, he hired the best software engineers at Apple. He didn't design the hardware, he collaborated with top tech experts. He didn't do everything himself, he focused on vision while his team made it a reality. Learn from those who came before, mentors, coaches, books, courses. Find a mentor, someone who has already succeeded in your field. Read books, listen to podcasts, and attend seminars to learn faster. Invest in high-quality courses instead of wasting time figuring everything out alone. Partner with experts instead of doing everything alone. If you're great at sales but don't know how to code, partner with a developer. If you want to start a business but lack marketing skills, find a marketing expert. Outsource instead of doing everything yourself. You don't need to know design to have a great logo, hire a professional designer. You don't need to code to have a great website, hire a developer. The story of Jake Hunter. Jake Hunter was born into a working-class family in Detroit, Michigan. His father was a mechanic, and his mother was a cashier. From a young age, Jake watched his parents struggle with money despite their hard work. Without financial security or strong connections, he knew he needed a different path. After high school, Jake couldn't afford college. He worked various low-paying jobs, waiting tables, making deliveries, and working in warehouses. But he realized something: to earn more money, he needed valuable skills. The problem? He couldn't afford expensive courses or university. So, he decided to borrow skills. Jake applied for an unpaid internship at a small digital marketing startup. His job? Making coffee, cleaning the office, and organizing documents. But he paid close attention to how the experts in the company worked. Every day, he took notes on their strategies and techniques. One day, he overheard a marketing meeting about Facebook ads, a skill he had never considered before. Realizing its value, he started self-learning by watching YouTube videos, reading blogs, and asking colleagues for advice. Within 3 months, Jake successfully ran his first small advertising campaign for a client. The results were outstanding. His boss noticed his talent and promoted him to a paid marketing position with double his previous salary. Jake continued to borrow skills. He joined marketing groups on Facebook, followed top experts on Twitter, networked with industry professionals. Within a year, he left the startup and started taking freelance marketing projects. Thanks to his growing network, he landed his first clients, many of whom were people he had helped before. Working from home, he soon made $10,000 per month. With his savings, he launched his own digital marketing agency, Hunter Digital. Instead of doing everything himself, he hired talented employees and continued borrowing skills to grow his business. 3 years later, Hunter Digital became one of the fastest-growing marketing agencies in the US, generating millions in revenue. Jake not only changed his life but also created jobs for dozens of others. Jake's story proves that you don't need money or connections to succeed, you need skills. And if you don't have them yet, borrow them by working for free or for low pay to learn from the best. Observing, listening, and taking notes, knowledge is everywhere. Using free learning resources like YouTube, blogs, and podcasts. Building relationships by offering value to others. Applying what you learn immediately to gain real experience. From a delivery boy with zero resources to a self-made millionaire, Jake's success came from one simple mindset: borrowing other people's skills as a stepping stone. And you can do the same. Have you ever applied the borrowed skills strategy in your life? 3. Leveraging relationships. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Relationships open doors to opportunities and provide access to powerful resources. The right connection at the right time can be more valuable than money or skills. Michael was born into an ordinary family in a small town. He had no inheritance, no extensive connections, and no particularly advantageous starting point. After graduating from university, he moved to the city, hoping to change his life. However, reality was harsher than he had imagined. Finding a job was difficult, rent was expensive, and no one around seemed willing to help a stranger like him. Michael tried different jobs but got nowhere. He realized that relying solely on himself without any guidance or support would leave him stuck in the same place. So, he decided to change his strategy. He would leverage relationships. Since he had no existing connections, Michael actively built them. He attended seminars, events, and met successful people, listening to their stories. One day, by chance, he met Henry, a young entrepreneur in the real estate industry. Instead of asking for a job right away, Michael spent time learning and assisting Henry with small tasks such as organizing documents and preparing for meetings. He didn't demand anything in return, he simply showed sincerity and a willingness to learn. After a few months, Henry began to trust Michael. One day, when his company needed an assistant, Michael was the first person who came to mind. This gave Michael the opportunity to step into the business world without an impressive degree or extensive experience. Working with Henry, Michael had the chance to connect with many prominent entrepreneurs. Instead of just focusing on his job, he proactively networked, learned, and helped others with small tasks. He understood that relationships were not just about knowing people but about the value he could provide. One day, Michael met Laura, the director of a construction company. Noticing that she was struggling to find clients, Michael leveraged his existing connections to introduce her to potential partners. This connection not only brought Laura more clients but also earned Michael her appreciation. As a result, she invited him to collaborate on a new project. Michael didn't just facilitate connections, he also took on a business consulting role, optimizing work processes to improve efficiency. The project's success exceeded expectations. Following this, Laura introduced Michael to more partners, helping him expand his network even further. The project's unexpected success brought Michael significant financial gains. But more importantly, he realized that relationships were his greatest asset. He continued expanding his network and ventured into various business sectors, from real estate to e-commerce. Recognizing the growing demand for business consulting and investment connections, Michael founded a company specializing in strategic consulting and corporate networking. Thanks to the reputation and relationships he had built, his company quickly grew, attracting major clients. After a few years, Michael transformed from a young man with nothing into a successful entrepreneur. Looking back, he realized that his success wasn't just due to hard work but to his ability to build and leverage relationships wisely. With his company's success, Michael gained not only wealth but also influence. Large partners sought him out for collaborations, and smaller businesses wanted to learn the secrets of his success. Instead of using relationships solely for personal gain, Michael began helping young individuals facing struggles similar to his past. He launched training programs and gave speeches on the power of relationships in business. Many of those he had helped later became trusted partners, further expanding Michael's influence in the business world. Relationships don't come naturally, you have to actively build them. Don't just focus on receiving, think about the value you can provide to others. Networking isn't just about knowing people, it's about trust and mutual support. The right relationship at the right time can be worth more than money or a degree. Learn to help others because you never know who might help you in the future. So, what is the smart choice? The answer isn't choosing just one, it's combining all three. You need relationships to find opportunities, skills to seize them, and money to amplify them. Getting rich quickly isn't just about having capital, it's about knowing how to leverage all the resources around you. Which path will you choose?